This post over here mentions that CRO will rise 1600% in only 18 months. That is quite a lot. Therefore, I want to find out myself, where will CRO be in only 18 months? So let's dive into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only Coin Baron. And first and foremost, guys, I am a fan of the CRO project, but I don't believe in fairy tales. And rising up 1600% in only 18 months, that's quite unbelievable. But it does make me really curious. So let's take a look at the article. The article itself is actually more of an opinion piece made by one of the investors into CRO. And actually not just an investor, we're talking about David CRO. And David is quite active in the CRO community, and he also runs his own validator node. So I do think he is quite biased. And unfortunately, he doesn't mention any real reasoning why there will be this jump in price in only 18 months. So I'm afraid we have to make our own assumptions and go into the charts ourselves. A rise of 1600% would mean going back to 80 cents. So let's draw it on the chart quickly. And that will be done in 18 months, so 18 bars. So that would mean something like, something like this actually. And honestly, that seems like quite the rise. But we have seen more rises like this in the past, of course, because also this pattern over here that we actually saw play out, it only took how many months? Only 10 months. So from this perspective, we can make really big leaps in short amount of time. So in that regard, I don't think 18 months would be that special. But of course, it is also depending on the time in the cycle. Traditionally, the Bitcoin halvings have been great indicators of where we currently are in the cycle. And this site over here mentions that we need approximately 247 more days until the next halving. So it will be, give or take, in April 2024. And well, 18 months would actually be in February 2025. So more or less a year after the halving. So where are we normally a year after the halving? The green lines in this chart show all the halving events. So we had one in 2016, 2020, and there are some projected in 2024, 2028, etc. So the question that we had, what happens normally to the price a year after the halving? And so far we only had 3 halvings. It seems to be quite bullish. So a year after the first halving, a lot better. A year after the second halving, as well, a lot better. Not the top, but we have definitely an upwards trajectory. And then the last cycle. So we had a halving in May of 2020. What happened in May in 2021? Actually, we are very close to the first top we actually touched there. So honestly, well, from the time in the cycle, this argument makes more and more sense. Having said that, well, we just looked at the Bitcoin charts, and normally Bitcoin leads the cycle, and altcoins like CRO, they just follow later on in the cycle. So we only had one data point, one halving yet for CRO, but let's look at the last cycle, what happened then with the price. The path forward for CRO after the Bitcoin halving is a lot less straightforward than for Bitcoin that we just saw. Because, well, over here, green dotted line again, that's the Bitcoin halving event. And after that, the first 3 months, weeks, well, we are straight going to a new all-time high. So it has great momentum. But it's also really the start of the roller coaster ride, because directly after, we go down again, we retest the lows. And after that, well, again, hitting new all-time highs. Unfortunately, though, directly a year after the Bitcoin halving, CRO is basically where it started at the Bitcoin halving. So if history will repeat again, I don't think that CRO in 18 months will be near its old all-time high. So if CRO won't be at its old all-time high in 18 months, well, will it be? And again, it's something with a crystal ball, but we can make some predictions if history is going to repeat perfectly. So where were we 4 years ago? The Bitcoin halving took place on the 11th of May 2020. So let's get the ruler and go back 247 days. There's actually, well, the difference between us and the next Bitcoin halving. And that would get us to a price of CRO of $0.45. And honestly, guys, that is quite amazing. If you look at the current price of $0.52, there's only like a $1 cent difference. And especially in 4 years' time, there's quite been some dollar devaluation and inflation, of course. So it doesn't seem like we have made a lot of progress in the last 4 years. But anyways, of course, it doesn't give you the complete picture with new prices coming for future projections, of course. Since the price difference is really minimal, I want to make a big assumption. And that is that, well, the price structure will probably repeat again. So what would happen if we have exactly the same price pattern 4 years after the original one? So let's actually draw it over here. So the first one is actually we go up after the first halving. We go down again, first part of the roller coaster. Then we go up again. Then we go down again a bit less. And then we have the big move. So let's actually get this one, move it over, copy it over, and let's see what would happen. So let's get it, let's move it over. And it will be something like this. And of course, this is awful drawing, but it gets you the gist of it, I hope. So we might have again, hopefully, quite a move up to give or take 20 cents. That would be, I think, a big hurdle to actually overcome. But unfortunately, it seems this 18-month line over here, that was the orange line, that would mean in 18 months, we are only at like 8 or 9 cents. So that will not be that much spectacular, honestly. Of course, in the previous segment, we made quite some big assumptions, but so did they in the article. So I do want to make sure that you guys know that Bitcoin might make a big leap going into 2025, but CRO might actually follow a lot later only. Don't get your hopes up too much right now, because, well, the CRO Bitcoin valuation might still be quite bad for quite a long time. So just print that in your mind. Anyways, guys, to wrap up this video, I think in 80 months, CRO will be at $10 cent. Nothing too spectacular, but let's keep it real and let's grow our wealth together. But that's me, I'm the CoinEdition, and we'll see you in the new video. Till then.